What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here with another Madden 22 update. Yes, the game just got a new update this morning, and I know you're seeing a lot of posts from me lately, a lot of videos pertaining to updates, but that's how it goes at the beginning of Madden season. If you guys have been around for a few years, you kind of know this is what happens. We get a million updates in the first few months of the game. We get things added to the game. We get a lot of things that need to be fixed and patched because there's always issues, and today is another one of those days. So today they're attacking some of the stuff with zone coverage, which is good, that we like to see. There's also something in here, I believe, for franchise, some other little things that we're going to cover, but this is one of the smaller updates. The next big update, I believe, is scheduled for mid-October. That's when we're going to get the scouting system. That's when we're going to get some other gameplay fixes that they actually did touch on here. Some gameplay fixes that'll be coming in that update as well, and we might get player likeness and face scans and just other little things. Like, basically, if you've kind of caught on to how EA does it at the beginning of the year, you'll usually get about 2 updates a month. You get the one big title update where they're addressing a ton of things in every mode in the game and just across the whole game, and then in the middle of the 2 big updates, you get a smaller one, which is a little bit more like a quick hot fix where it's like more directed at a certain issue, and it's just in between the big updates. So today, that's one of those type of updates, but there's some important things in here that players have been waiting for. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to always subscribe, turn the bell icon on so you don't miss these important videos in the future. So the main thing here that they kind of went over was some fixes for cover 3. Now, they have a dev note here that says the gameplay portion of this title update is focused on cover 3, one of the most popular coverage types among players, and it aims to address the top pass coverage points of feedback from players. As we discussed on Good Morning Madden, we are targeting specific aspects of pass coverage like flats and curl flat zones in our next title update, among many other updates to Madden 22 overall. And you see what they said right there, many other updates. This is going to be probably the most updated Madden ever. That's how the last few years have been. Each year, it's been more and more updates because not only are they adding more to the game post-launch, but there's also more problems that they're having to fix throughout the year as well. So flat zones are still bad right now. They're not really getting to the sideline that great. That's going to be addressed in the next big title update. But cover 3 is where they really focused on with this update. Mainly the deep third zones. As we know, they were really bad when the game launched. They were even not too great in the beta either. So I don't understand why they even launched in this state. It was very easy to throw streaks over their heads in a bunch of different situations. They also did a bad job at defending corner routes on the sideline, even when there was no pull route on the field, basically pulling them deeper. When the only thing they had to worry about was a corner route, they still weren't defending it. And a lot of those things look to be addressed, but we're going to read over it. So the first bullet point here, as it pertains to cover 3, says they did some tuning to the outside cover 3 deep zones, giving up too much space versus corner routes with no other vertical receiving threat in the area. So essentially, especially in compression sets like gun bunch or gun tight and things like that people like to run, think of it this way. You have a corner route on the right side of the field, and you have literally no other route over there. You have no streak, you don't have a deep post, a fade, you have nothing. It's just a corner route. The deep third would not defend that corner route when that was literally the only thing on that field for him to defend, because there wasn't a streak that was making him have to respect a deeper route and run with the streak or the fade or a post or anything like that, and he still wouldn't defend the corner route. So they're saying that they resolved that issue. The next bullet point here said they did some tuning to cover 3 deep zones versus bunch flood concept. So essentially, when you have a flood concept out of gun bunch, you would have something like a streak, a corner route, and a flat route. They're saying they did some tuning here with the deep third zone against stuff like that. So previously, I mean, I didn't feel like this was the hugest issue. There were certain ways that you could bomb this for sure, like with the play verticals, but that was just the deep third completely glitching out. And they don't mention that they actually fixed that in this update, which I find very weird, because I think that was one of the biggest issues with deep thirds, was that they would glitch out when you had a wheel route on the field and they would let a streak run by them. They didn't mention that here, so that may still be an issue in the game, but they're saying just bunch flood concepts in general, unless they're including verticals in with that, then maybe that's what that means, but we'll have to go test it out. They're saying that they did some tuning so that the deep third won't get abused, I guess, in the bunch flood concepts, but I just have a hard time believing that, because deep thirds have always, from the beginning of time, gotten abused with bunch flood concepts. So we will test it. We're going to do a later video testing this to see how it works, because I have seen some people on Twitter after this update dropped saying that it's not working that well. I've seen some people say that it is better in some areas, but I've seen a lot of people say that overall they feel that it's worse. So take what I'm saying here with a grain of salt until I put out a later video. We're going to test it and actually see for ourselves. I don't like to make judgments until I see it for myself, because I have certain things that I do in testing and it needs to pass my criteria. I don't like to just listen to what everybody else says, but the common theme I'm seeing overall is some things are a little better, but overall things are worse. And if everybody's saying that, it probably is true, but just stay tuned for that later video. Maybe today or tomorrow we're going to test it out. Now, they also said they did some tuning to the outside cover 3 deep zones to better anticipate threats coming from across the field with no other threats in their zone. So I think this would be like a crossing route. So if you have a crossing route on the left side of the field and it's running and crossing over to the right side of the field, they're saying that the outside deep third zone will defend that deep crosser better if there's nothing else in their area. So again, if there's no streak or no pull route maybe in their area, they should be able to notice this crossing route coming across the field and play it. And now again, I mean, crossing routes have always been dominant in Madden, so it's another thing, like, you really have to see it to believe it, because they've just historically not defended them well at all. Now, we do have some other things in here. They said they resolved an issue with the flipped play art when base aligning and choosing a new play. So there has been an issue in the game since launch with flipping your play on defense, and all of your play art would be flipped. So you really wouldn't be able to tell how your zones were playing. It was just a visual bug. They would be playing the right zone, but visually when you would pull it up, it would be completely flipped. So the zones on the right side of the field would show that they're running to the left, and the zones on the left side of the field would show that they're running to the right. And the way it would just look on the field, you literally could not really tell what each player was even in, because it just looked like a jumbled mess. So basically, when you flipped your play art, if your defense was base aligned and you choose the new play, and I think even in some other scenarios, just if you tried to flip your play in general, your play art would flip and get all jumbled together. So they said that they resolved that issue. It wasn't an actual bug with how your players played, it just made it hard for you to tell what actual assignments your players were in. It made it hard to adjust because you really didn't know what each player was actually in. They also said here that they addressed an issue with class progression when player lock is on in Face of the Franchise. Now, I don't play Face of the Franchise, so you guys can let me know if this is fixed, but I guess a lot of people that do play it probably want to play with the player lock on because it makes it feel more like a true career mode, I guess you could say, and it seems like the class progression was completely screwed up if you decided to play this way. I guess trying to progress your player, it wasn't giving you the actual progression. So they did say that they fixed that. Let me know below if you do play Face of the Franchise. Now, later today, there is going to be a roster update coming to the game. This typically happens every Thursday late afternoon, so I will have an update on that for you later. We'll probably get that out tomorrow, because first I want to go test this patch and get another update out to kind of confirm if what everybody else is saying is true, that the zones are playing bad or they're worse. We want to make sure that we know for sure. You know, I don't want to give you guys bad info. So while this looks good on paper, we have to go test it out and see, as always with EA and Madden. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe, turn the bell icon on so you get the updated video later and the roster update and everything else as it pertains to Madden 22. Check out some of these other videos right here, and I will see you guys next time.